Hey there, fellow classic comic collectors and indie comic fans. As always, I'm Scott Harris King, and today I'm really excited because it's the launch of my newest Kickstarter, a comic that I really love making and really excited about. It's Quest, issue number 2. But if you missed issue one is available as well. So Quest number 1 and 2 now live on Kickstarter. We just launched this morning around 9:45. So it's been less than 12 hours. We're doing really well so far. So first of all, just thanks everyone for coming. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks everyone for all the support so far. I really appreciate it very much. What I'm going to be doing over the course of the next hour is I'm going to show the campaign. I'm going to talk about the story, the characters, the rewards, the artists, all of that stuff. If anyone has any questions or comments or anything you want to talk about, just let me know. I'll answer any of your questions, but I'll just go over the campaign. I'll talk about the different reward tiers. Obviously, I don't have the printed copies of issue 2 because that's why I'm doing the Kickstarter, to raise the money to print it. But I do have copies of issue 1 here on hand, so I'm going to be showing all the copies of Quest number 1, the different variant covers that I have for that, so you can see what they look like. Let me change the lighting so you can actually see me a little bit better. Let me try that again. That was a little bit better. We'll try and get the lighting right when I show these off. So I'm going to be doing all of that, and we're just gonna have a grand old time here. So why don't we start by taking a look at the Kickstarter? I'm going to use my incredible technical skills to do that. And here we are. Again, we're just under 12 hours since we went live, and right now we're at $1,066. With 44 backers. So thank you all very much. Brendan Sellers, thanks, Brendan, for joining me. Brendan says epic cover. I love the logo. Thanks very much. I really appreciate it. I had the logo in mind. I was going to try and hire someone to do it. But eventually I just ended up making it myself. So I'm glad you like it. I'm a huge fan of comics, but also specifically like fantasy comics, Bronze Age comics, and Copper Age stuff, stuff from the 70s and 80s. And so I wanted to have that feel with the logo. I wanted to feel kind of like the logos from like fantasy movies from the 70s and 80s. I'm pretty pleased with it. I originally had something a little rougher in mind. It was almost like hewn rock. But I'm pretty happy with the way it ended up coming out. So I'm glad you like that. So let me I'll just quickly sort of go through the campaign. I'll show you the different rewards, the different variant covers. I'll talk a little bit about the story and the artist. But again, if anyone has any comments or questions, please let me know. When I'm looking at the screen for the Kickstarter, I won't actually be able to see your comments. So there may be a slight delay. But here we are. And so the main image here, I'm going to show the full cover in a little bit. It's totally awesome. It's by an artist by the name of Mannix Francisco. There's going to be 2 versions of this cover that you can get: a virgin variant, because as much as I love the logo, I didn't want it to distract from this art. And there's also going to be a metal variant. Last issue was the first time I've done a metal variant, so I wasn't really sure how it was going to come out, but actually it came out really cool. So I'll show you the metal variant for issue 1 so you can have an idea of what that looks like. A lot of limited edition variants. I love to have homage covers. I love just the variant cover thing. Mostly just because I like the variety. I like having the options and paying tribute to different inspirations and things that I love in comics and beyond. So here's the cover for issue number 2. This is by interior artist Rock Alves. This is actually an homage cover. When we were discussing the covers, I bounced a couple ideas off of him, and then he came back and said, no, I know just what I want to do. And this was the cover that he did. It's Vess with a couple of the other characters behind her fighting a bunch of zombies. It's an homage to the Alex Ross cover from the 2019 Savage Sword of Conan #1. And it looks so cool. the coloring I want to specifically mention by Adriel Dalla Vecchia, and it's really awesome. I've used him for a couple of covers. Like I have the Quest 3 cover already done, and maybe I'll show that to you later just to tease what's coming. But I was really excited for this cover for the art by both Rock and Adriel. And Rock does some really cool art in this issue. He has very expressive art, a lot of action, a lot of energy in his artwork, a lot of motion and movement. And for an action comic like this, where there's a lot of fighting and stuff, it's really cool to have that. So this is the regular cover. So this is going to be the normal one that is sort of the basic price, which is $10 plus shipping. I do want to mention again that if you miss the first issue, you'll be able to get both of them. So you'll get issue 1 and that issue 2 together, and have a special discounted bundle. So if you did miss the first issue, this is a great time to get both of them because it's $18 for the pair instead of $20, plus you'll save on the shipping if you get them both together because I can ship them together for the same price. So I think it's a really good deal for people that missed the first issue. Catch up on both of them. I should say that both the first issue is 24 full color pages of story. There's also a couple 2 or 3 pages of bonus material in the first page. There's a cool extra pinup, but then there's some extra story material, some written material, and some other stuff as well. But the second issue is the story is actually 25 pages. Plus there's again some new bonus material as well. So I think everybody will feel like you got your money's worth. I'm trying to tell a good story, and this is actually really exciting for me because the story that starts here in issue 2, it's issue 2 and 3. It's the first time I've done a multi-part story in any of my comics. So it is a 2-parter, 2 and 3. Obviously, there's an ongoing storyline in Quest, but specifically this adventure, 2 and 3 go together in the one story. And 3 is already done, so you don't have to worry about that, about missing out. I'm just putting, when I finish doing the lettering for issue 2, I'll be moving right on issue 3, and we'll have that out in the spring. But this story was the story that I was originally going to start the series with. I was going to have this being issues 1 and 2, and I decided I needed really more of a setup to introduce the characters in issue 1. But this is the story that I've had in mind right from the beginning, and I think people are really going to dig it. And it's perfect timing for Halloween because it involves zombies and spooky curses and undead stuff and a haunted castle and stuff. So I think it'll be a lot of fun for readers. I think people will really dig it. Here's just a little, this is an image from the first issue from the Carlos Herrera artist variant cover. I'll show that later. The super limited edition, but I do have some copies left, both of the regular and the metal version. Carlos, of course, does the comic Nightwolf, which is super popular on Kickstarter. Everyone has really loved this cover, but it's difficult because, I don't have access to Carlos's fan base. So a lot of Carlos's fans, I don't think they know that this cover's there. So if you know anyone that's a fan of Carlos Herrera or Nightwolf, let them know about his awesome cover here for Quest 1, because there are still a few copies available. My campaigns, it's pretty spare. There's not a lot of words. I decided to just let the comic speak for itself. Here we've got the little intro with the map, because if it's a fantasy story, you have to have a cool map, right? And we just get a little paragraph setting up the story, and then we've got for the first issue, we got the first 5 pages with a big 2-page spread here, which of course you can't really see the scope of it when you're looking at the little Kickstarter page, because Kickstarter images are limited to 680 pixels wide. But it's a double-page spread, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later. So this is from issue 1, where we meet our characters in the middle of a battle, and then we've also got the new preview for issue 2. The quest continues, chapter 2, Betrayal. And Again, we start right in the middle of an action sequence. I like to jump in with the adrenaline and get it going right from the beginning. And it looks so cool. It's always cool to get the colors and get the finished colors. And once put it together and it looks like a comic, it's like every stage of it just makes it look cooler and cooler. And then we have this cool fight scene. You can see what I was talking about with Rock's action sequences, just the movement. I love this sequence where there's a 6-legged mountain lion is jumping, and then Vest dives in to block it. I love this detail here where Rock has the dwarf Ashra, who's just been saved, and just the look on her face. And then just the motion from panel to panel of the action here. And the big paw scratching across the shield. And then this is one of my favorite things that Rock did in this issue. He has some really cool sequences, but I love this on the top of page 5 of Vest killing the lion. It just looks so cool. So really excited for everyone to see the whole story, because this is just the action. They get your blood pumping. And then, as we see here at the end of the preview, they discover why the gates were closed when they arrived. It's because the town is cursed. And then you have to wait to read about the curse you have to get the full issue for that. But really excited to get it out. I think it looks really cool. Again, I've got to thank Rock Alves for the art, and Shane Queef. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right, but Shane does the flats. So really just pleased with how it all came out. So and again, let me know if you have any questions about the art or about the issues or about the Kickstarter itself. Anyone have any questions, please let me know. But I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the rewards here. I've spotlighted a few that I think the top here that I think will be of most interest to people. Again, for new readers, we got the special discounted set of both issues 1 and 2. I could see actually a typo right here. It says Tabletop RPG Edition. This is obviously the normal edition, so I've got to change that. Here's the Tabletop RPG Edition. This is the other one I really wanted to highlight. So I'm a huge D&D fan. D&D obviously one of the big inspirations for me in making this comic. And so I've done this series of the Tabletop RPG editions where the covers are modules that I'm drawing and designing to look like old D&D modules from the 80s. But it's not just a variant cover, right? So let me take a closer look at this issue. What you can see is an homage to my favorite module of all time, the Keep on the Borderlands. The cover was originally done by Jim Rostoff. And what we've done is my dungeon master, who I play D&D with almost every week, has teamed up with me to basically do a mini module and some supplemental game material in the back of each issue of this, just this special edition, not the regular ones, but just in the RPG edition. There's 8 or 9 bonus pages in every issue that have game rules and a mini module, so you can play the story from the comic in your own home game. So when you finish reading the comic, you can then just roll up your own characters, or roll up the characters from the game, from the story if you want, from the comic, and you can play through the story, and see if it goes differently for you than it did for the characters. And something that I've actually played through the first issue. We haven't done the second one yet, but it was a lot of fun, and it's a lot of fun to make it. We use the Old School Essentials rule system, which is like a first edition emulator. But you can take the game supplement, and it should be easily adaptable to any tabletop like D&D sort of role-playing system. And we have besides the mini module, we also have special class rules for the world of Quest. So if you want to play a paladin in the world of Quest, the paladins are special rules. Issue 2, we're going to have rules for the bard, or what I'm called the lore master bard, which is our elf character Maniac, is a bard. And there's also the monsters that they face in each issue. There's special monster rules, so you can use those. So it's got everything you need to play through. This was probably the most popular version of the first issue. I've done a couple shows since the first issue came out, and this has also been the most popular, is the first issue. I can show that to you. Let's see. Hold on a second. I just realized that some of the stuff I've been talking about hasn't actually been appearing on screen. So here's what I've been talking about. The Keep on the Borderlands cover. Sorry, as I mentioned, when I'm on the other screen looking, I can't actually see what's happening in the live stream, so I didn't realize that it wasn't being shown. So let me show this again. This is the Keep on the Borderlands cover for the RPG edition that I was just gushing about. I'm doing one of these for every issue. So let me just quickly show you the last issue one, which was based on a module called the Lost Caverns of Sojanth. In this case, I've renamed it the Lost Caverns of Denchir, which is the dwarven city they go to in issue 1. But as you can see, it looks just like the D&D module. It's really hefty because it has those extra pages. So besides, the comic is 28 pages, but it's got the 8 bonus pages. So it ends up being 36 pages plus the covers for this edition. And again, I am doing a special discounted deal. If you missed the first one, you can get a set of both issues for a little bit off. Instead of $40 for the pair, it's $38. I should say that this is also a limited edition. I'm only printing 200 copies of each issue of the RPG edition. So once those are sold out, they'll be sold out. It's possible that when we get enough issues built up to do a trade, that there may be a collection. I'd love to do like a hardcover collection of these modules and have it look like a player's handbook or something. Just looking around because I think I have my player's handbook right here actually. Let me see. Yeah, here we go. So you can see I got my first edition player's handbook right here. So I'd love to collect these in like something like that. I've got some other ideas that I think will be really cool when we get to that point. But for now, I'm just really excited to get, whoops, that's not what I'm trying to do, to get this new one out to everybody. And just to show you, here's the set for 38 for the pair of those. And let me just show you real quick some of the other variants that we have. I teased this at the beginning of the live stream, but here's the full cover for Mannix Francisco of our lead character, the Paladin Vess, standing on a battlefield. It won't be crooked, of course, when you get it in your hand. It'll be straight. But for the purposes of trying to get the whole thing on the screen here, we've tilted it just a little bit. But this is going to be limited. This is going to be available in 2 versions. There's only 50 copies of the Virgin variant. And then there'll be a metal version, which I have down here with my really cheesy graphics to try and make it look like it's shiny and metal. But the metal version is only 25 copies printed. That's obviously more expensive. It's $59 because it's quite expensive to have the metal versions made. They cost quite a bit. But I'm really excited for those. Let me show you the metal version of issue 1. So you can have an idea. I'm not sure it'll really show up here. The lighting is just not very great in this room right now. But here's the metal, and it's still in the original bag. They come bagged from the manufacturer, the printer, and so I don't want to even take it out. But you can see the shininess on the metal here. I'm not sure you can really get the full effect, but there, when the light comes across it, you can see how cool the metal is. And it looks really cool with the flat black background. It's just super shiny. And I think the new one's going to look really great as well. So I'm excited for that. Do it again. So let me just show you some of the other covers. I'm also doing my homage to the Endless Quest book covers. So here's the one for issue 2. I loved these books when I was a kid. In fact, I have some of them right behind me with my player's handbook. I've got a couple of them here. I'm not sure where I put the good ones. I seem to have misplaced my copy of Pillars of Pentagon, but just to show you real quick, like here's one of the original ones, Circus of Fear. This is book number 10. These are like choose your own adventures, but they're done by TSR. So in the Dungeons and Dragons book, here's an earlier printing of, this is like a first edition of Mountain of Mirrors, which is the second book in this series. But in terms of the graphic design that I'm doing on mine, it's closer to the later version here, as you can see. But I've just taken that design, and that, you know, we talked about this in the first issue, but I did this just purely because I loved it. I took the art from the regular cover and I just designed this frame and tried to match up the exact fonts and everything. Just because I love these books so much, I wanted to have it for myself. And I always figure if I think it's cool, other people may also think it's cool. So, and speaking of something that I basically did for myself because I think it's cool, it's the classic throwback Bronze Age variant cover. Now, the first issue, we did one that was an homage to Conan the Barbarian #1. This one is a little bit different. I did homage, it's very subtle, but it's the figure of Vess herself is an homage to Red Sonja by Frank Thorne from the cover of Red Sonja #1. The rest of it I did myself. Like this, it's like there's I basically created all the backgrounds and the monster on the side and stuff. None of the rest of it's an homage. The rest of it's all original. But I love the frame cover, 20th era from Marvel, started in 1972. I think technically is December of 71 was the first frame cover, but these covers from 72 and early 73, I just love the design. And so I wanted to have sort of a classic throwback Bronze Age feel for one of the covers. So I'm doing one of these every issue as well. And then I'll talk about this here. This is something I'm trying new. I don't know if anyone will like this, but like I said, I like to do the variants. I particularly like to draw the homage covers. I have a lot of ideas for homage covers where I'm not putting out enough comics to actually do them all. So I thought, well, for the variant cover collector who wants something really unique, I'll basically do a custom cover just for you. Now it's $349 because it's going to take me a long time to draw these. Like it's double-digit hours to do these covers. But the way it'll work is I've done sketch covers in the past where I get a blank and I do like a convention sketch. This is not that. This is where I'll give you some designs to choose from. We'll figure out what we want the cover to look like. And then I'm going to do it exactly like I do the other covers. Full color. I draw digitally. So the whole thing will be done 100% just like a full cover. It'll be an official cover for Quest. The only difference is I'm only going to print 2 copies, one for my files and one for you. So you'll have the only one around because I'll guarantee I'm not going to sell my copy. So it'll be a unique custom cover. Nobody else will have it. I don't know if anyone's interested in this, but I thought, there may be some hardcore variant collectors or just people that want to support independent art and want something unique for themselves. So we thought we'd give it a try. We'll see if anybody likes it. It's not something I've offered in any of my previous campaigns, but I thought it might be fun to roll it out there and see if anybody wants something like that. And then here is just a look at the add-ons. As you can see, I've, I try and keep things on theme. So I have written up this thing. As you complete your pledge, you suddenly sense a slight breeze coming from under a nearby wall. It's a secret door, and beyond lies even more adventure and treasure. Treasure that can be yours by adding it on from the add-on page. Yeah, I tried to keep the pages fun. And so here I have some of the issue 1 variants that are still available. Now, there's a lot of stuff that you can add on, including the Crime Busters Volume 1 trade, which we just finished funding a couple weeks ago. That's currently at the printer. And some of my other previous comics, like Cthulhu versus Uncle Sam. But and you can also add on any of the issue 2 covers that we've already just talked about. But in addition to that, I do have copies left of almost all of the variants from issue 1. And they're all limited, so I don't have necessarily a lot of copies, but I do have some left. So if you want to get, the Endless Quest homage from issue 1, or this really cool poster cover, or any of the other variants from issue 1, they're all still available. You can add them on. I'll show them all to you because I do have them all right here. And the other thing I'm doing is prints, 11 by 7 prints, pretty cheap. I think you can get a set of 5 for $30. Plus shipping. They'll come separately from your comics in a sturdy tube to make sure. I don't want to fold them up. They'll be rolled in the tube, but that's, that will keep them from getting creased or damaged. And the tubes are quite sturdy. I've got 2 sets. You can get the first issue set, which has the covers from the first issue. The set for issue 2 has the Mannix cover, and it's got the regular cover, but it also has the back covers for issue 1 and 2, and then a pinup that was inside issue 1. So it's more of sort of a General Quest art print set, but that's just $30 for 5 of those. It's great to decorate with, which I guess probably sounds funny coming from me right now, considering how completely blank the wall is behind me. But that wall, I've got a bunch of stuff already framed that wall is designated for. I just haven't had time to actually finish putting it up. But one of these days, you're going to drop it on one of my live streams, watch one of my other YouTube videos, and you're suddenly going to see a bunch of cool posters behind me because they're right here. They're ready to go. Anyway, back to the campaign. So, I'm also doing sketch cards, which have been very popular. It's just the size of a trading card, 2 by 3, 2 inches by 3 inches. But I have blank ones. I'll draw the character of your choice with a marker, and then I'll color it in with marker. I usually color in the background or do some background sketches to try and offset the main image. And some of them, have come out really cool. I'm trying to make them better. Like I feel like I'm getting better with the sketch cards than I was when I first started. So I've been happier with those. The last campaign did very well. A lot of sketch cards for the Crime Busters campaign. So I'm just waiting to get the actual books for that, and then I'll do all the sketch cards and send everything out. But that's more or less it. Here's a picture of me with my Dungeon Master's Guide. I tried to make myself look as weird as possible because I basically thought to myself, what would Alan Moore look like with this? So I did that. Here's a close-up of one of those prints. It's the back cover of issue 2 by Raleigh Marshadesh, who's done all the back covers for issue 1 and 2. There's also, he's done it for issue 3. And I'm hoping to get him to do the back cover for every issue because I really love the old school sort of D&D illustration style that he does. It's just the perfect feel for what I'm going for. So we got our sort of our main characters here, Vess and Hugin the dwarf, and Maniacop the elf here. And his art's really cool. And then just some short bios of everybody involved. And of course I print with Comics Wellspring. So that's basically the campaign. I do have also I didn't really get into some of the other rewards. If you just want the digital version of issue 2, it's $6. And you can see there's quite a number of backers that have gotten that. The set of issues 1 and 2 is $10 for the pair. So if you want to read digitally, I know that's a lot cheaper for people overseas. I do offer shipping overseas, but of course it's much more expensive. Or if you're just someone that likes to read digitally, you can get the set of both issues to catch up on everything. Then we got the regular cover. the Endless Quest is 13. Regular cover is 10 plus shipping. Regular Endless Quest is 13. We got the throwback one is 15, which is a little bit less than it was in the first issue. I've adjusted the prices a little bit. And then we have the set of issues 1 and 2, which so far I don't have any backers on that, which I'm a little surprised at, because usually when I do a second issue, there's a lot of new people that come in and they pick up the set so they can catch up on the series. So clearly that hasn't happened yet. Here's a set of the tabletop editions. Or rather, here's just the tabletop edition for this issue. The Mannix Francisco variant, which is so awesome, is a Virgin variant, limited to just 50 copies. Doing well with that. Here's the set of the RPG editions of both issues 1 and 2, and we do have a couple backers for that who are going to catch up on both of those. The metal variant, and then we got some of the higher end sets, like if you want a set of all 6 covers, and then there's the Mother Lode, which is the set of all 6 issue 2 covers and all 8 issue 1 covers. So, and then of course the one where you can, I'll draw a unique cover for you. So that's all the rewards. Last time around, I added some rewards during the campaign. I may do that again. There's stuff that was only available as add-ons. I had mixed results with that, so I'm not sure if I'll do that again. We'll see. I always want to do stuff that people like or that people want. So if people come to me with cool ideas that I can do, I'll try and do them. Someone today messaged me and asked about getting custom quest dice at some point, and I think it's a great idea. I just have no idea how to do that, or like what the process is, or vendors or anything. So I probably won't have time to do that for this issue, but in the future we may see some quest dice. So let me just show you the issue 1 covers. I've sort of shown them all here on the screen, but just to show you, sorry for the lighting, I can't quite get it right here, but here's issue 1, regular version. And then here's issue 1, the RPG edition, which again has been very popular, and it's my favorite. I think it's really cool. Here's the Endless Quest variant for issue 1, which I sort of took the graphic design elements from the Mountain of Mirrors cover, because that was my favorite, the blue and with the white. I do love those. And here is the classic Bronze Age throwback cover, which is my homage to Barry Windsor Smith's cover for Conan the Barbarian #1. So hopefully people will hopefully people dig that as much as I do. Another cover that I wanted to show, now this is by Erwin J. Arosa, who does a lot of really great work on Kickstarter comics, and it's what I call the movie poster cover. You know, I really wanted it to sort of, it's something that really captures the feel of the series in one image. And the coloring is really interesting. I'm colorblind, so I'm missing a lot of the subtleties on this, but I've been told that there's a lot of cool subtle shades that I'm just not seeing here. Some people told me there's some really vibrant colors, and I can't see them, but I do love the cover regardless. And so this was one for issue 1. I do have some copies of this left. Not a lot actually, but I do have some copies of that left. And you know, that's a cool one. And then here's the regular version of this super limited Virgin variant, again by Carlos Herrera, who does Nightwolf. And this is limited to just 50 copies printed. So again, I think a lot of Nightwolf fans and Carlos Herrera fans would really dig that if they knew about it. But unfortunately, I don't think I've really been able to get the word out as much as that deserves. So those are some of the variant covers. And again, the metal cover, which does look a lot cooler in person than you can really see here. But you can kind of see, even with the glare, when I get the light going across it, you can see the cool reflective metal. It's really cool in person. I guess they'll just have to trust me on that. So let's take a look at the campaign. We'll go back and see how it's doing. Do a little refresh on that. See if we picked up anything. And the answer is no, but it's okay. So here we are, and we're still $1,066 with 44 backers, which is excellent. You know, I feel really grateful for everybody for your support. It's a great first day. The first issue we did 1,215, I think, on the first day. So I'm hoping to get a few more backers before the end of the first 24 hours, just to try and get past, you know, just for that watermark, to try and get more funding on the first day for this issue than the first issue. But you know, I'm certainly not going to complain about this at all. It's a great support from everybody. So again, thank you all so much for your support. I'm just going to get a drink of water here. So if anyone has any questions, comments, or anything, please let me know. And I'm just going to find my water and get a nice big drink here. And I guess I'll call up the cover for issue 3. I'm jumping the gun a little. I wasn't going to show this until the end of the campaign to tease next issue, but again, issue 3's the line work's all done, or almost all done. There's a few things. There's a couple pages I need to fix. I've got the flats in, but the finished colors still need to be done, and the lettering still needs done. So it's a little ways off. But the cover for issue 3 is done. So let me show you that, because it does look pretty cool. All right, hold on here. Nope, that's not right. Let's see. I'm working on it here. All right. All right, here it is. Pretty awesome, right? Here's the cover for quest number 3. A little tease I shouldn't spoil anything as to what's going to happen with this showdown between our heroes and the zombies, but you know, as you can see, or you may or may not recognize, this is an homage to famous cover by Mike Zeck for Web of Spider-Man number 32. And that's got Spider-Man coming out of the grave. But it was one of my favorite covers. I like Zach has some amazing covers. So this is an image I had in my head while I was writing this story. So again, it's Rock Alves doing the pencils and the inks, and then the coloring, finished colors are by Adriel Dalla Vecchia. So once I finish, issue 2 and the campaign for issue 2 is done, we get issue 2 mailed out to everybody. Then I'll start working on issue 3 pretty much right away to try and get that finished over, the holidays, so that next spring, hopefully the end of March, if everything goes well, we'll have quest 3 ready, so you can come back and get the next part of the story. But I've already got artists working almost done with issue 4, the basic the basic line work for issue 4 is nearly done. That still needs the coloring and everything, and it's not quite finished, but the cover is not done for issue 4 either. But most of the issue 4 line work is finished. And then I've got someone actually starting, Marcos Lima, who did issue 1, is going to be starting work on issue 5 later this week. So like by the time the beginning of next year rolls around, I will have issues 3, 4, and 5 pretty much all done. I'll need to finish the colors and the lettering, but like the main part of it is going to be finished. And so you can pretty much guarantee you're going to be seeing Quest 3, 4, and 5 next year. And I'm really excited for that. So, I mean, I have big plans for Quest. I've got a big epic adventure in my head. There's a lot more dungeons to crawl through, a lot more modules to go through before our heroes reach the end of their quest. And along the way, we're going to learn a lot about our heroes. This Quest 2, we really start getting into Vest's backstory. She mentioned in issue 1, for those of you that read issue 1, that there was, there's a reason why she came out to the borderland. In issue 2, we've learned why she's there to begin with. And some about her backstory and motivation and what makes her tick. So I'm really excited to get into that. And then again, for all the characters as we go, we'll be seeing more about the characters, the ones who survive. At least we'll be learning more about who they are. So it's gonna be a lot of action oriented action first, but it's character-based action. We're going to find out why they're on the quest, why they're doing the quest, what motivates them, what drives them, and what's important to them, which will influence the decisions they make as the quest continues and things get kind of crazier and crazier. And again, a lot of cool dungeons that we're going to be going through. I'm taking inspiration from specific modules for different issues and stuff like that. So really looking forward to all of that. So yeah, there you have it. A little sneak peek for issue 3 of Quest. Again, that'll be next year. Guess I'll give a little update on the Crime Busters. And we finished that campaign just a couple weeks ago, and it's coming along fine. I'd originally had a fulfillment date of December for all the rewards. I'm hoping to have the digital rewards out this week. I was originally hoping to have them all out by yesterday. But after working several hours on the weekend trying to get the PDF ready, I just couldn't do it. There's a lot of technical issues, mainly around how big the PDF is, because it's 215 pages and they're all, 600 DPI files. The PDF ended up being over a gig. It was so big that the programs that I use to compress files couldn't even open it to compress it. So there's no way to shrink it, and it's too big to distribute. It's too big to even host on like Dropbox, because I have 3 of these PDFs. There's 3 versions of it, and they're all that big. So there's just no way for me to send it out. So I'm still working on it. I think I've got to figure out how to do it, but it's going to take a fair amount of time. So hopefully by the end of the week, I'll have time to redo that PDF and get that ready. But other than that, everything is sort of just a matter of the pages are all done, and they're at the printer. I sent it to the printer a week ago now. So I'm just waiting to get the proofs. I'm getting physical proofs of all the versions of the trade. Get the proofs, make any corrections that need to be made, and then get it out to everybody. So everything's still on target. My printer is usually pretty fast with the turnaround time. The one caveat being this is a square bound book. The only times I've had any kind of issues with the turnaround time and the fulfillment time from their end is with the square bound volumes. It's always been technical issues with the machine that attaches the square covers to the book. So hopefully that won't come up this time and everything will be smooth sailing, but I'll keep everyone in the loop. There was a physical bonus reward, which is a new trading card. You know how much I love my trading cards. That's done. Trading card is designed. I've ordered that from the printer as well. So again, I'm just waiting to receive that from the printer. That will be here before the trade. So yeah, once the trade arrives, it should be pretty simple. Just pack them up with the trading cards. It'll take me a day or so to draw the sketch cards because there's quite a few of those that people have ordered. And then everything will be going out. So, once I have the PDF, again, the digital rewards, promise them by December. I think I'll have them by the end of this week, so it'll be 2 months early. But one way or another, they'll be early. And once that's done, it's just a matter of waiting for the printers to deliver the book, and it's all done. So I'm super excited to get that, and I'm excited to get Quest. And then after this campaign, we're gonna have a break of about 2 months with no campaigns, where I'm going to be finishing the fulfillment for Quest number 2, assuming it funds, and then we'll be getting a head start on next year's comics. So I'm hoping to have Crime Busters 6 launching at the end of January. That's not quite done, so it's possible that we may need to go with something else first. Well, if that's not ready, but Max, he doesn't have that much left to do. The artist Mac Radwanski, most of it's done. So still hoping to have that done in time for January, for the end of January. And then I've got a romance comic that'll be coming out either in February or March. We'll just see how the timing lines up. But it'll be some combination of Quest 3, Crime Buster 6, and the romance comic first issue. I'm just not sure what order those will be in, and that's what we'll be looking at for the first few months of next year. So a lot of cool stuff happening. I'm really excited about. So we've got, let's see, I'm planning on running this till 9 o'clock. I usually run for an hour. But it's, if anyone has any questions, let me know. I'm kind of running out of things to talk about. So I also can't really see, I'm not sure anybody's actually watching right now. So I may end this a little bit early. Let me just take a quick look, see if anything's happening over on the Kickstarter page. That answer is still no. So we're still where we started, 1066, a good year for the Normans, and a really good number for the first day of the campaign. So yeah, I think I'll just end it there. Let me know in the comments down below when you rewatch this. Anyone has any questions about any of the rewards or any comments about anything, let me know. Really excited to get all of these comics out to everyone. I'm excited for Quest 3. We still have a long way to go to get funded. We're just about 32% right now. So we're about 1/3 of the way funded here in the first 12 hours. But I know from the previous campaigns that the first day is always the biggest, and then it really drops off a cliff. So definitely not counting my chickens. The first campaign, we didn't get funded until we were inside the last 48 hours. And so I think we're going to probably see that again here with Quest number 2. It'll probably go right down to the last day for funding, which, is nerve-wracking. But, one thing I want to say is that my goal was a little bit higher this time because the first issue actually cost a lot more than I was expecting it to. So I lost a fair amount of money on issue 1. But those costs haven't really been put on the backers. The shipping's $1 more than last time because I underestimated how much the shipping was going to be. But other than that $1 extra shipping, everything is basically priced the same as it was last time. So it's really the burden of getting that extra funding is on me to find more people to come in, more fantasy fans and stuff like that. So hope everyone enjoys the comic. I appreciate all the support. Let me know if you have any questions, comments down below. And I'll be back doing a closeout bash live stream in 3 weeks. So November 13th, 8 o'clock p.m., we're counting down the last hour of the campaign. So this is a shorter campaign, only 3 weeks. And again, a lot of these rewards are limited. So if you're interested in some of these variant covers, even though I do have some left from the first issue, you never know what's going to happen. So if you want some of these, I would suggest getting them earlier rather than waiting, because it's possible they may not be around. But again, thank you everyone for the support. I really appreciate it very much. And I'll see you next time.